Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you're joining us from. You're welcome to your number one show, The Nigeria We Want. Joining me is Mr. Wale Olaiton, the moderator of the show. Welcome, Mr. Wale Olaiton.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vicky Yomi Folaji, our number one director, entrepreneur,
Uh,
and the brain behind the Nigeria We Want. It's good to be back on our
Always good to
number
be
one
back.
show, The Nigeria We Want.
Yeah, welcome. And Mr. Yemi Shodimu, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Ma. And thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Hey,
good to see
Yemi,
you,
are
my
you
boss.
are you in location again?
I'm not on location. I came to the same place that I did last week. That's the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, but this is another
Okay.
location within the place.
Okay, yep,
I'm just, yes, just using different locations within the place.
beautiful.
But I tell you, it's a
Welcome.
place you must visit. If you come to this country, it's a place you must visit.
All right. I'll link up with
It's located
you.
here in Abeokuta.
Yeah,
It's a place you must visit.
we may do a show together there. We may be there. I may be there in the next few weeks.
I didn't hear that.
Okay. In the next few weeks, I may be there with you.
That
I
will be
think.
exciting. That will be exciting.
All right. So we'll see how we go. So yeah, today we've got a great top. I'm sorry to say that there's a topic, a raging topic, which is something that's been going on for the last 2 weeks or more in Nigeria, and now that we're getting to that part that we have some information, we believe we need to go into it. So we'll get into it shortly. But before we do, let's deal with the first part of the first segment of the show, which is what is trending. I really don't have much because I've been so, cracked with work. So I haven't been following much of news lately in the last few days. So I'll just push that back to you. Egmoyemi, what is trending for you?
A bit on a sad note,
Mhm.
is the death of so many people out there
Hmm.
in Delta and Delta State. Uh, I'm not very sure about the figures now. I think it's over 37 or so.
Wow.
People scooping, who got burnt while scooping or
Oh,
while operating an illegal refinery in the creeks out
hmm.
there. Whatever they were doing, the thing that was caught fire and they were trapped, and so many of them got burnt to
Hmm.
death. A couple that were rushed to the hospital, maybe a few of them also died in the process. It's a very sad development, very, very sad. And unfortunately, it's not the first time this will be happening.
Hmm.
It's not the first time. And I just hope our people have a rethink. The risk they put themselves through in the attempt to make money at all costs is so sad. It's very easy to blame it on poverty, but can we apply some common sense to it?
Hmm.
That has been happening a lot. It's the same thing when you find uh, fuel spilling from
Thank you.
a fuel tanker that has
Hmm.
broken down, that is involved in an accident, and people go there to scoop. They go there in their hundreds, carrying buckets, cans, and all that, and a little clatter or a little brush of iron could lead to fire.
Fire.
we've lost lives. We've lost lives as a result of this.
Mm.
And it's unfortunate that this could still be happening in 2024.
Mm.
It's very, very unfortunate. So that is something that has been trending. Of course,
And
the
when did this
like,
happen, Egbon?
Delta, it happened in Delta
When?
State.
When?
This happened just last week,
Okay, yeah.
early this week, early this week,
Mm.
not last week. It happened
Mm.
early this week, a few days back, a few days back. That's the unfortunate thing.
Mm.
The other thing that is, of course, obviously trending has to do with the certificate saga. It's still very much in the air. Um, where it will end, we don't know, but we
Mm.
keep watching. We keep watching. There's a lot of uh,
Back and
back and
forth.
forth. Yeah,
Mm.
as a result of this. So we see as it goes. That
Mm.
has been trending. How this eventually affects us in the international uh, committee of nations, the committee of nations, I don't know yet. I don't know. But we are hoping that it will come to an end, it will be resolved, so that we can live our lives as proud citizens of this country.
Mm.
I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Egbon, about the certificate thing, definitely that might never go away, and the impact of it in the international setting on Nigerians, it's gonna go far and wide. I'm not sure if you read about the news yesterday. The UK had already,
The nurses thing.
yes, I'm not sure, like over 5,000 Nigerian nurses will be made to write an exam. These are nurses that are already on the system working. Now, are your certificates genuine? All right, let's check
Yes.
you out. These are people who had been working. They are not new. They have already been working. So it's not just going to stop there. It's going to go far and far and far. And just, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Thank you,
It's a
Egbo. Mm.
it's a very sad thing. I saw a video of a clergyman delivering a sermon out there in Germany, and this guy made a prayer point of asking God to intervene in the certificate issue. Uh, I mean, the clergyman was obviously, I mean, a white man, if that's what you
Mm.
want to call him, and he did that as a prayer point. I felt a bit embarrassed about it.
Embarrassed, totally. Why
I
won't
felt
we?
embarrassed about it
Mm. Mm.
because when we now go to the spiritual realm and at the international level to and bring that to focus, it's not good. It's not good for our image. It's not.
It's not a good look on
Mm,
Nigerians,
it's not.
hardworking Nigerians. It's quite sad. Thank you, Egbo. Mr. Wale Alaito, your what is trending, please?
Yeah, I will pick it up from where Egbon stopped. Around that certificate and the legal issues around it. Before the court of law. Um, like everyone else, I followed the events and what really transpired. At the court in US. So there are a few issues there. And I'm sure there are legal minds. They've also made their views known on this. So the matter before the court, one of the few issues that came before the court was to identify whether Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the current president of the country, was ever a student of the Chicago State University. The university, their lawyers, and the school representative at the court, they were able to confirm that the person that went to their university, that graduated from their university, is the same man who is the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These are not my words. These are not ASA. These are words from the university, their lawyers, and they are representative at that U.S. court. So we have to put a few things into perspective here before we just make generalized, statements. So that was clearly established in the court. The court also established and provided a transcript of this same person who went to that university, and they released that transcript to Atiku and his lawyers. What was in question was around the diploma or the certificate that was issued. The university said, like many Western universities, they don't keep any record of a diploma or certificate. Once you get it, you get it. It is your property. The only time that you come back is when there's a need for it to be reissued. That the transcripts, as we all know, we've been to universities, we have records. The real academic record of someone who has been to a university is the transcript that shows your grades and everything. They release that. So as far as articles camp, as far as they're concerned, what I think they felt work in their favor was the university saying that that certificate that President Tinubu presented was not issued by that university, that they could have, it got issued somewhere else. But what is not in doubt is that he went to that university. What is not in doubt is that he graduated from that university and they provided the transcript and everything. So I just think we should balance it so that it won't look as if this man has forged his way into everything, because the university was their student. So I think that would be a matter for them to really, the lawyers to be able to decide. And number two, I don't want to quickly make that, jump into conclusion around the verification exercise going on in the UK with our nurses and everything. I don't think United Kingdom as a country, with the level of exposure they've had with Nigerian professionals, I don't see them just jumping into a conclusion on a basis of maybe the certificate issue with their president. To start with, the certificate issue we're talking about was not issued in Nigeria. It was a certificate that was issued in the United States, not in Nigeria. My theory would be they have their intel about some of our people there. They may have concerns in recent years around their performance and proficiency. And I'm not holding brief for anyone, but I'm just trying for us to just have a balanced kind of discussion. They could be just doing what they have to do. Maybe they have their intel that some of the certificates are not genuine, or some people are faking their way into UK soil as a medical practitioner when in actual fact not. There could be a number of reasons, and I don't think that the certificate forgery or alleged forgery of certificate by our president would automatically affect millions of highly skilled and competent professionals working in diaspora. That is just my take, that at the end of the day, people will have to go through what they have to go through to be able to genuinely establish who they claim they are.
But what I know is that there is this generalization, especially because of who we are. We're Africans. So the moment there's a doubt, the moment there is that thing that affected somebody else and it's all over the place, they start casting doubt on everyone else.
Yeah. And so that's why we have that duty as well to put it into perspective. No, we can't sit here and be saying that he forged way. I'm not holding brief for him. When the court, agreed, and his lawyer agreed that he went to that same university. That happened at the court.
Sorry. From what we said earlier, I do not see how any of us sat here to make that conclusions. We're talking about what is trending. And we just mentioned what is trending. I can see the very laborious attempt by Wale, of course, to put things in perspective. There's nothing wrong about it. But none of us, neither of us as a in this discussion. What I'm saying in essence is, yes, what I'm saying in essence is we just mentioned what is trending. It is, you can't wish it away. It is out there trending, right? And the Yoruba should say, "Ajekela no omokuleni." So if that happened and a nation is reacting to it, if you make insinuations that that was a result of what happened, you may not be far away from the truth. But we are not here to make condemnations. We are not here to say this. I mean, this is an ongoing issue. So no conclusions has been reached about this. But as an average Nigerian, especially for those who are here and even those who are in diaspora, you'll be worried. If that never happened, you won't be bothered. You'll be worried. That's the point we are making.
Yeah,
It's just something that is
and I
trending.
got your point clearly. I got Dr. Vicky's point clearly. But what was missing in what is trending is that we didn't make reference to the fact that the court where the matter was at, the university clearly stated that this man was their student, that this man graduated from their university, and that they issued the
Wale,
transcript to this man. So we need to
Wale, that is Wale,
balance it.
Wale, that is analyzing the story. What is trending is what is trending. You are now going into the depth of it, which is not even our issue right now on this episode.
Yeah,
but thanks all the same.
We will not agree on this. What is
thanks
trending?
For calling on the brakes.
We will not agree on
Thanks
this,
for pulling,
and that's fine. We will not agree on this, and that
no,
is
no,
fine.
that's thanks for pulling the brakes. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. But I mean, but I'm not happy about developments, and you, I'm sure you are not.
But I want to now say that the way Egbo mentioned those people that are trying to scoop oil and, you know, selfishness and all these things is what is really impacting on us. These people that are going so far to check certificate, to check this, to check that, if they could stop and see how whatever they're doing is going to impact Nigerians, that they are really forcing and pushing to rule for all these years, then they should stop all this behavior, because it's like bringing attention not just onto Tinubu but to all of us wherever we are, whether we are living outside or we are living inside or we are doing businesses with Caucasians or with whomever. They stop, because there's that, it's part of human being. It's what we do. We generalize. So I think we should just, that would be a topic for another day, because there's a lot to talk about there, and I can see Wale ready to.
No. There's nothing. Look, no. I'm not in any fight mode. I'm not Tinubu's, spokesperson. I'm just an advocate in, trying to balance this up, and that is what this is all about. There's nothing really special. There's nothing really personal here. But I just thought that even though it is what is trending, we can still maintain a balanced view on it, because whoever is reporting what is trending and all the negative stuff should be able to say that, the court also heard and agreed that this person went to that same university and this was not graduated from that university. I think it's a balancing act.
All right. Thank you, Ali.
It is okay, Wale.
Yeah.
It is okay. So can we go to today's
Let's go to today's topic, which is about the investigation into the death of Nigerian singer Mohbad. So I will pass this on to Wale, the intercontinental moderator.
Thank you, Dr. Vicky. And if you just join us, you are on our #1 show, the Nigeria We Want. On the show today, we'll be discussing issues about safety of life in Nigeria with the topic, investigation into death of Nigerian singer Mohbad intensifies as police detain Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and Primeboy. Courtesy of our producer, Mr. Festus Alabi, I quickly provide background to today's topic. On the 12th of September 2023, Nigeria was thrown into mourning when the news of the death of talented singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad, spread on social media. The circumstances surrounding the death of Mohbad raised eyebrows, and Nigerians took to the streets and social media to protest, calling for justice for Mohbad. Many people accused the duo of singer and owner of Marlian Records, Azeez Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, and a music promoter, Balogun Eletu, otherwise known as Sam Larry, of complicity in his death, an allegation that they denied. Mohbad left Marlian Records, owned by Naira Marley, on a controversial note in 2022, and his relationship with his former boss was strained after that. This prompted investigation by the police. Mohbad's corpse was exhumed about a week after he was buried for an autopsy. The police also took Sam Larry and Naira Marley into custody afterwards and declared Mohbad's friend, Omawumi Ibrahim, also known as Primeboy, wanted before he turned himself in. On Wednesday, 4th of October, the Lagos Police Command obtained a remand warrant to further detain Naira Marley and Sam Larry beyond the 48 hours constitutional provision over the ongoing investigation into the death of Mohbad. As it stands, Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and two others, as well as Primeboy, are in police custody as investigation continues to unravel the mystery surrounding the death of Mohbad. So, how much longer should Nigerians wait to see that justice is served in this matter? So, without further ado, I go straight to our panelists, and I'll start with Mr. Yemi Shodimo. Nigerians are waiting and already asking questions. Is this necessary at this time? Over to you, Mr. Shodimo.
It is necessary. And Nigerians really must learn to wait. We must learn to wait. Because if we expect an investigation to be done thoroughly, if we expect that the police should do their job as expected, we need to wait. It's a painful thing. It's a very sad thing. But at the same time, the people who are working on this case are not magicians. They're not going to conjure facts. They have to painstakingly look at what is obtainable, what is there, and of course the remote causes and all that. It's a very sad thing. It's I think it says something about us, seriously, as a people. It says something about us as a society. And of course, there are so many issues out there on this matter. There are so many conjectures out there. There are insinuations out there. There are truths and half-truths out there. And all they have to sift through all this to get us the desired result. So we need to wait. We need to give them that time to do their job. We can only wish them the very best, as well as cooperate with them. Make available whatever information that we have that might help in the course of the investigation. But as for waiting, we just have to wait. Whenever one remembers this guy and the circumstances, the obvious circumstances that surrounded him prior to his death and all that, one would feel very, very sober and very pained as a human being. We just lost gold in this guy. We lost gold, pure gold in this guy. But we need to wait for the outcome of the investigations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shodim. On the same question, Dr. Vicky, Nigerians are waiting and already asking questions. Is this necessary at this time?
Necessary. Are you talking about the Nigerians questioning?
Nigerians asking questions, and obviously you can see, you can feel it that the tensions are high, and everyone wants to know what's happening, what has happened, and
Yeah.
actually we just want to know that all this questioning, and is this really necessary, or we should just allow time for the police to do their work?
Yes, I believe it's because probably most Nigerians, they don't understand the processes that goes into investigations like this. When we say investigation, it's not something you just look and assume. You've got to go deep. You've got to check out things. You've got to plant video cameras all over the place to catch people, whether they are lying or. So it takes time. So people need to be made to understand. Most people went through university, but university never went, passed through them. So understanding the processes, the time, the energy, the financials that goes into investigating something like this, especially when you're dealing with, people that have got money that can pay their way out. Now, the other part is, yes, people are asking questions. People are eager. They want to know because they are scared. I believe they are scared of people that are accused getting, if it's true they are involved, getting away with this, getting away because they've got the money to buy their way out of it. And because of the history, I mean, we heard that this Naira Marley guy was an ambassador for um,
And
the
the
drug
NDLA,
enforcement, NDLA,
National Drug Law
you know.
Enforcement Agency.
And this is
Yeah.
guy, this is a banner eating guy. Okay, this is Ajijegbo number one. Okay, you now make him the ambassador of NDLEA. What is that saying about? So there are no upstanding human beings, young people out there in Nigeria that can be the ambassador. So you pick Ajijegbo to come and represent your organization. It's a slap on good working Nigerians, on young people that are working hard to build great things for themselves. It's a slap. It's a slap. So for me, yes, people, if you don't know the process, you ask. The other point is their fear of these people getting away. We know that you know, our police, we know what they can do. They bring, So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Dr.
Sorry,
Vicky.
our producer. Sorry, yeah. I mean, that's what we had, but our producer just put something up for us to take note of. The NDLEA has denied that it's not their ambassador. So where
Okay.
that came from, we don't know.
Well, I'm sure I
Thank you.
saw a video or photos of him with some NDLA officials. I don't know. I'm sure I saw that a few weeks ago or so.
So they need to do more. They need to get out there and shout it on top that we got nothing. They shouldn't even be seen with this guy. You're supposed to be ransacking his house or houses. You're supposed to be checking him. Because, anyway, let's move on. Wale, is your 2G
Okay, thank
playing
you. I
up?
go to Mr. Shoji. My network is good, unless you have issues at your end. I'll go to after carrying out an autopsy and arrest of some prime suspects. What more should the authorities do to unravel this mystery, Mr. Shodimo?
Frankly, that question should go to the police. They know the technicalities of this thing. There is so much material on social media, so much that I'm sure they can use. There is there are so many angles to this thing. The family angle is there, the colleagues angle is there, the promoters angle is there, the well-wishers angle, you'll find that there as well. So many, there are so many angles to this story, which I'm sure if there if they dig very well into, they will find something quite useful in a lot of ways. But just as you said, this has to do with the professional approach to it. Nigerians, taking you back briefly, Nigerians, of course, have been asking questions, maybe because of what is presumed to be their previous experiences with law enforcement agencies. And but this is one debt too much. This is one ghost that has refused to leave and is here with us and is living in the hearts of so many people. So they will love to know. So there's a lot of work, I'm sure, that still has to be done. And we just hope they will get to the root of this all.
Thank you, Mr. Shodimo. So on this, I know there's.
Sorry, producer also put something out here. He said the NDLEA said his engagement with them was voluntary. Voluntary.
Voluntary, okay. And people do that, from time to time. I guess even on international scene, you see, celebrities being ambassadors to, international organizations, and so it's not uniquely a Nigerian thing. You have celebrities, across different areas representing different organizations, but they just have to be sure about their own image of people they are associating with. Just around what Egbon said around, issues is before the police and some of the things they have to do. I just want to share a few things that I know. There's a concept called crime script, which is on the environmental criminology and crime analysis. Essentially, there are key questions that police have to really consider in a case like this. Essentially, among other questions, they will need to look into when did it happen, when did this event actually happen, where did it happen, when did it happen, who was involved, the involvement of people in that particular crime. What do they do? Why do they do it? So that we, look into issues around their motives of, committing the alleged crime. And how did they go about it? So these are in a crime script. These are the key 6 elements of, police diligently doing their work to put, the pieces together. And hopefully we trust our police. They are modern police. They will do what they have to do in this matter to be able to get that justice for Mohbad. Moving on, I'll go to Dr. Vicky now. The lead singer Mohbad is said to have faced embarrassment after leaving Marlian Records. Is this a Nigerian thing or music industry thing? I'll throw this to Dr. Vicky. Obviously, Egbon, because of his level of depth of knowledge in the entertainment industry, I'll be more than happy for Egbon to share his views on that as well.
I think Egbon should just go ahead, because that is his industry, number one. Then number two, as you both know, I'm not very, I'm not knowledgeable when it comes to secular music.
Okay.
I was just waiting for that. I was just waiting for that. Thanks for clarifying it. But it's okay. So we're not talking gospel music, but it's okay. Wale, the question again.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so just trying to like allegedly we saw all the videos, and the harassment that late Mohbad faced after leaving,
Naira.
Marlian Records.
Mm.
We saw the videos and some of his own statements before his death. So the question is around: is this a Nigerian thing or music industry thing in general? The harassment and intimidation that an artist, the artists face after moving on from a label that brought them into limelight.
Well, unfortunately, um, it's a yes and no. No, because I won't say it happens in all relationships
Mm.
of that nature. But yes, because there's a history of such, and it dates back a long time ago. Um, we've had we've had issues between artists and their labels. We've had artists having to break away from labels for non-performance. We've had artists having to break away from such relationships because of being dissatisfied with terms and conditions. We've had artists breaking such contracts, calling off such contracts, because as at the time they signed the lines, they were hungry for fame, they were hungry for exposure, and they needed to cross, let me use the word, the poverty line. And so enough scrutiny was not given to those fine lines, those fine points in in such contracts. So when they suddenly realize that, wait a minute, I'm getting this so much acclaim from the public, there is so much airtime for my music, there is a lot of uh, nice things said about my music and my person, and then they want to juxtapose this with what they have materially, what they have acquired materially. And once that is not justified, issues start rearing its ugly head. Let's take it back to the days of King Sunny Ade and the label he was then, owned by a late promoter, Chief Balogun Eletu, to be specific.
Okay,
They
okay.
had issues. They had issues then, and the thing got very bad. It got very bad. The young King Sunny Ade wanted freedom, wanted to go his own way. And then, I mean, the label, naturally not wanting to part with its golden cow that was milking the farm and all that,
Mm.
would put up a fight. And then issues, legalities comes into this, and it becomes very, very messy. You remember the one Logbebo was sorry Tamelka
Oh,
and all that. A lot of lyrics will come up from the artists fighting back. The label would push and all that. But it's probably become a little messier these days when maturity is not employed.
Oh.
yeah, but he just dropped out. So Egban was, giving an example of what happened in terms of the issues between artist and label. Painting the picture that this has been in that industry for a long time. He gave the example of Shibolaniwa Bureau, a great promoter from Ipokia, in Ogun State, who was well known at the time, and the issue late Bolaniwa Bureau had with a younger
Sunny
King
Ade.
Sunny Ade, back in the days. Yeah, okay, welcome back, Mr. Yemi Shodimo. I was just trying to recap the points we were making around the fact that whatever is happening down in that industry is not something new, that it has been part of that industry for a long time. So I move on to Dr. Vicky now while Egbon is trying to fix. So this has to do around the security and protection. Many people argue that Mohbad should have been given more protection as a musician with so much talent, even not that because he actually he made a report to the police and nothing was really done about it. The whole thing came into limelight after his demise. So do you think the society failed him?
Like most young people in Nigeria, the society failed him and keeps failing many other. This guy was apparently so talented. Um, and yes, I might not be an artist when it comes to singing, uh, but I'm a writer. I'm an author. So I know that when when I'm distressed, I write. When I'm happy, I write. Whatever is going on with him, it comes out on black and white. And when I listen, after 2 weeks ago, was it 3 weeks ago when we had a show and you guys were talking about Mohbad and it's all over the place. And I was just like, I don't know that person. And
Mhm.
everyone challenged me that why is it that if it's not gospel, you don't know anything? So after that show, I invested some time into checking out, okay, let me check this guy, even though it's not my kind of thing. I was I was just so like, my goodness, this boy is it was brilliant. And not just that, it was like it was telling his story through his music. Everything that was happening to him, he was shouting it out. He was saying it. He was telling people. But did we listen? Did we hear it? We just danced to it. So many of his music that we've heard at parties, but never registered, never looked deep within. So did the society fail him? Yes, totally. Totally. And I think we should be doing better from here on. Whatever happens, whatever happened before should be something that we should use as a way of managing things going forward. This shouldn't happen again. This boy not only sang his problems, not only verbalize everything through his music. His passion showed through whenever he was with his mic. Um, he took it further. He went to the police station to report. He documented it. What was done? Nothing. 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 He was bullied. He was treated really badly. He was beaten black and blue most times. Um, was that right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, he may have signed documents. How many of us have signed documents that we didn't even read it deeply? And then we realize that after some time that, oh my goodness, what have I done here? It happened to me. Millions of dollars lost. Okay, it happened. And people do take advantage. Horrible human beings do take advantage of us. Okay, so yes, the society failed him. The society failed him. The society failed him. His colleagues failed him. We heard his music, we did nothing. Nobody did nothing. Yes, the society failed him.
Okay, thank you. Before I return to Mr. Shodimo, my next question to Egbon Shodimo will be around, finishing what he was talking about around the industry and the issues around music label and their artists. And number two, the broader question around how can we sanitize the industry? How can we, bring the, recognizing is a very, financially buoyant industry. How can we, the more experienced people in that industry, how can they step in? Unfortunately, Mohbad is dead. We're not going to have him around with us again. But how can we learn from what has happened from him and be able to provide that mentorship and mentoring to young people between managing themselves and managing all the issues around that? Before I go, then I'll just add a few points around whether the society failed Mohbad or not. Talking about police and policing work, there are key areas of policing, activities. The number one is around preventative kind of work. They do that probably when not even pay attention. You see their vehicles, patrol vans, them on bicycle, just moving around. It's a preventative police crime prevention work that they do from time to time. There's also the rapid response. The rapid response obviously is, a crime had just occurred, members of the public raise an alarm and the police, rushing to the scene and all that. And, and the last part of it is the follow-up criminal investigation. And unfortunately, that is just, what they are doing now. So in terms of preventative one, the society, the police failed Mohbad. In terms of the rapid response, there was none. The society failed them in that aspect. But obviously, they will get the last one right, which is the follow-up criminal investigation activities. That involves evidence gathering, identification and apprehension of the alleged offenders or offenders, as the case may be. So that is what they're doing right now. Getting people that have been linked to that, crime, getting them, apprehended and gathering more evidence. And hopefully, we are demanding for justice. The most crucial part will be the criminal prosecution and conviction, for the alleged, killers. So just talking about whether the society has failed him or not, and the role of policing. Moving on, I'll just return to Mr. Shodimo now, just to talk about what he was talking about the the frosty relationships sometimes between artists and their labels, and how can we really sanitize the industry and support young, talented, musicians and performers, in Nigeria. Mr. Shodimo.
Sorry, before Mr. Shodimo, I just have to read this. This
Okay.
translated from Mohbad's debut single, Thief, after he parted ways with Marlian record. They called my dad. They threatened my mom. Isn't it a Marlian's way? I'm messy. I'm not a loser. They wanted to make me suffer. I've stopped smoking ganja. Hallelujah. There's nothing in my heart. It's telling me, there's something in my heart. It's telling me to shut up. In darkness, I'm the light. I also know myself well. Naira. Every day for the thief, one day for the owner. Black, not bad. Dollar, I'm rising. Why is Naira going down?
Yeah, so that was from one of his songs. It was quite prophetic, and it was making statement. But as you said, where people were busy dancing to the songs rather than listening
deeply
to the message. Mr.
Sorry,
Shodimo.
Yeah.
While answering now, permit me to say thank you to at least welcome Shamin. There's somebody watching from London, and he promised to join, and she's right there watching. Thank you so much, Shamin. Now, Yes. Let me conclude what I was saying. I guess the first relationships between artists and labels and all label owners and all that has probably gone messier. Uh, it's just that this particular one came to limelight as a result of the death of this guy, because probably if he was still alive, um, he would still have probably have been going through all he was going through.
Mm.
And I agree with Dr. Vic that the entire society failed him. We refuse to to build a shield around something I now called gold.
Mm.
This guy was a potential foreign exchange earner for this
Mm.
country. He was that good. But unfortunately, this just happened to him. However, I was talking about the fact that there are still a lot of those artists that are suffering in silence. There are still a lot of those artists that are not bold enough to challenge their labels, and they would just settle for the crumbs. Meanwhile, a lot of their sweat is going out to it, a lot of their brain work is going into it. And I mean, the fear of being thrown out, the fear of losing favor keeps them within such tables. And something obviously has to be done about this. We are not doing enough as a society uh, to protect this source of entertainment, this source of resources, this source that has placed this country on a global map. Because I'll tell you, this particular industry has done so much in terms of image for this country. And I mean, years back, you have a gathering or a party, it was all foreign music that you hear there. These days, hardly will you have will you hardly will you hear any bit of foreign music, and the party will still be very, very interesting. Check out our airtime on I mean the broadcast airtime here. A heavy load of our own music goes into it, sustains it. So coming to the question of what should be done,
Yeah.
it's time stakeholders come together. It's time government takes a keen look and a deep one into the activities within this industry. In a situation where there are no consequences for actions, people will continue to do whatever they want.
Yes.
They will. There is the issue of modern day slavery in terms of relationships. Listen, let's give it to the label owners and all that. A lot of their resources is pumped into this, and they're not doing this for charity. They want to make money. But don't make money with the
The expense
blood
of mm.
of the artists that you've signed in. Don't.
Mm.
There are societies where certain things cannot be done. And it's there. The laws are there. You know that once you cross that line, you are in for it. You are either sued, or you are taken up, or even your business could crumble. So we need to do this. We need to come together and tell each other the truth. We need to look at the extant laws that are guiding the industry, that are guiding business generally in the country. Where can you not get to? Which line you dare not cross? People do some of these things out of ignorance, but quite a lot of these are done deliberately, because you have somebody backing you, because you've got the resources that you can throw and get yourself out of trouble. These are the things we need to do. Wale.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ashodimo. So looking at the time, I know we've got a few, comments. I would like to give time to Dr. Vicky at the end to read a few comments and probably get a response from the panelists. But just trying to wrap up the discussion around, Mohbad, the police, they are doing what they have to do in terms of investigation. So, in 60 seconds, I will start from Dr. Vicky, Mr. Shodimo, to follow. How can the police and other stakeholders ensure that, we get justice that we're all demanding for Mohbad? I know this is beyond the alleged offenders and the deceased. There are other people involved, and I won't be surprised that people involved will be at the top, ladder of the society, knowing what we know about our society and how it functions. So, how can we really ensure stakeholders, police ensure that this young man that just died, but I was everything suggesting that it was more than that actually. At 27, how can we ensure that we get justice for him? Dr. Vicky, in 60 seconds.
I believe that police can do better by giving updates. Now he's been exhumed and is at this hospital. They are performing autopsy, like constant, because this is a high-profile case, and this case has generated so much interest because of the brilliance of the subject, right? So they need to do more. They should remember that Nigerians lack trust in the police organization as it is. So because of that, they need to be open. They need to be open by keeping us informed and not just treat this like the way they've always done things, like I don't care kind of attitude, mainly because they've collected some dollars from the accused, right? So people need to be informed. They need to be told. They need to be, we need to know what's going on. In knowing what is going on, with everybody watching, and all that, it's not gonna be easy for them to, parley this thing, I believe. So they need to be more transparent, the police.
Thank you, Dr. Vicky. Mr. Shodimo, on that same question, and your final words.
I want to start by saying, while the police is going on about this investigation, the police should also tell us, was there any response when this guy cried out
to them
for protection? It's out there that he petitioned the police. So somebody has to be held accountable for non-response, non-action about this. That has to be cleared, because just as it's happened to Mohbad, that could happen to any person. That is the same reason why we have women who cry out that they are married to brutes and all that, they have been brutalized, and they get to police stations, and we understand, we heard that officers, just handle this with levity, saying it's a domestic thing, it's a matrimonial thing that could be settled within the families. This is an opportunity for us to get that right and ensure that things are done properly. But back to this issue of Mohbad, I want to wish the police the very best in terms of their investigation. The world is waiting. It's just not Nigeria alone. The world is waiting. And then we should also have a reintrospection as a society. Did we do right? Did we ignore this guy? Did we build the desired wall around him to protect him? Or did we just leave him to the fact that, he's just one of them? We need to ask ourselves that. Well, for those who are being held and all that, I hope and pray that they cooperate with the police, because at this point in time, all the cooperation that can be given should be given to the police to get to the roots of this. As for others that are suffering in silence, artists that are suffering in silence because of their relationships with their label, with their promoters and all that. Please learn to speak out. Do not wait until it is late. Learn to speak out. And it is also a platform for us to appeal against the use of drugs. We need to also do that heavily at this point in time. It has messed up a lot of lives and a lot of the lives of our artists. Yes, we need to also speak up against that, because who knows who is next. We pray we don't experience such a thing again.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Ashodimo. So
Thank you.
on that note, I will hand over to Dr. Vicky. If there are comments, from the viewers, to read those comments to close the show for tonight. Over to you, Dr. Vicky.
Thank you, Mr. Wale Olaito. So I'll just pick a couple of comments. Earlier on, when we were talking about what is trending, we talked about the certificate saga. So Uche Okonkwo, I think, is joining us from US or Canada, one of those in the North America anyway. His comment was about the certificate saga, and he commented, how did a female gender gained admission to study and a male graduated from the school? Please, panelists, I beg you to go and peruse the dispositions of the CSU officials and nail the truth. Undisputed forgery. It's national shame and traumatizing. Like we said before, we are going to do another show about this in the nearest future, and hopefully we'll be able to investigate. Our editor or producer will be able to check a few things for us, because we tend to want to report the truth and balance things out. So we'll get onto that. Would you want to say anything about that, Egmont and Wale?
There isn't anything to add to that. There isn't any. It's that's his own opinion, really, but it's okay.
Exactly. And Charmaine Perna joined us from from London. She commented, Nigeria is the mirror to the world. And that was when Egmont was talking about how our music has been going far. And, I was at the biggest shopping center in the south. I'm not sure what you call it. Chatstone is the name of the shopping center. And the music was blaring, and that was music by so many of them, one after the other. I went in to guess, and they were playing the music. Before you know it, I was dancing, because I was just like, oh my goodness. On the cruise that me and my doctor man was in March, they were playing Nigerian music, and we're like, that's Nigerian music, and it brings joy to our hearts. We were the only Africans in that cruise, and we were like over 1,000 people in that boat. And we were the only Nigerians, the only Black people. And, we heard that music and we were like, oh my goodness. And I was dancing, I was shaking my bum and everything. And, it brings joy to our hearts. So when Charmaine commented, Nigeria is a mirror to the world, isn't that wonderful? And it's true. It's true.
I will just quickly add, Doc, that Charmaine is Jamaican, but she's so Afrocentric, and to be specific, she's Nigerian-centric.
Yeah.
She has so many good things to say about this country. She's actually planning a second trip, let me say, to this country. And she cannot just wait. She can't just wait. She's so much in love with this country, Nigeria. And I'm sure the Nigeria she wants is that one that is so beautiful that we've been preaching about for years.
For years, yes. Oh, she said Trinidad. She's actually from Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, Shamina, for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you, and thank you. And to all other viewers that joined us on Facebook or on Nigeria We Want site live, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We don't take it for granted at all. Despite your busyness, you still make it a point to be here. We say thank you. Hopefully, I'll see you in a few weeks' time. We must catch up. There's a project we need to discuss. And Mr. Wale Olait on the intercontinental, brilliant, any other adjectives, Egbo?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, my Dr. Vicky and Egbo.
Thank you so much. It's been a great night. We had a lot of viewership tonight. So we appreciate everybody that watched us live and those that may be watching later. Thank you. We'll be back again next Friday, I believe. Yes. Next Friday, 9:30 p.m. Melbourne time. And same time, which is 11:30 Niger time. We'll be back next Friday. Until then, you all take care and have a wonderful weekend. God bless. Bye.
The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Of Africa. Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. The Nigeria we want. With Vicky Omi Folaji. Yemi Shodimu. Wale Olaito. Abisi Washuku. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. On Biggie Ocean. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Of Africa.